Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a fascinating shortcut right into the human body's most foundational performance mechanic, the circulatory system. And this isn't just about, basic anatomy. This is a masterclass in logistics, in pressure handling, and efficiency.
It really is. We've gone through the sources, and our mission today is to get you beyond just memorizing parts. We want you to see the genius behind the design.
Okay, so how are we going to do that?
We're going to unpack it using 4 core elements. First, the specialized blood team. Then we'll look at the vessel infrastructure, the pipework.
Right.
After that, the engine itself, the double pump of the heart.
Yeah.
And we'll finish with the performance metrics, focusing on cardiac output, how we measure how well it all works.
Okay, let's drill down on that. Where does this whole operation begin, I guess, at the fluid level?
Exactly.
Because when we talk about blood, we're really talking about a multi-component task force. It's so much more than just a red liquid.
Absolutely. There is zero redundancy.
Yeah.
So our sources point to 4 key players. Let's start with plasma.
The liquid part.
The liquid part. Think of it as the freeway. It's mostly water, but it's what carries the nutrients, the waste, and of course all the other cells.
Yeah.
It's all about flow and volume.
And traveling on that plasma freeway, you've got the real workhorses, the red blood cells.
The delivery crew. Their entire existence is dedicated to one thing: getting oxygen to your muscles and tissues.
And they do that using a specific protein, right?
A remarkable one called hemoglobin. That's Hemoglobin. It's the molecule that physically grabs onto the oxygen.
But it's not just a one-way trip.
No. And that's the beautiful efficiency. While they're dropping off oxygen, they're also picking up the waste product, the carbon dioxide, and taking it back to the lungs. They do both jobs at once.
Okay, so we have the fluid base and the delivery crew. What's next?
The security and maintenance teams. First, the white blood cells. They're your defense force. Part of the immune system, always on patrol, ready to fight any kind of infection or disease.
And the final piece.
The damage control unit. The platelets. These aren't even whole cells, they're little fragments.
The repair crew.
Emergency repair crew. If you get a cut, or even just tiny internal damage from exercise, platelets rush to the site and start the clotting process. They seal the breach.
That's the crew, specialized and ready. But a good team needs, well, a perfect infrastructure to get around.
Yes. If the blood is the team, the blood vessels are the pipework. And this is where the design gets really specific to the job at hand.
Meaning you need different pipes for different pressures.
Exactly. You need 3 distinct types of vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Each one is built for a very specific function.
So let's start with the biggest challenge, pressure. That brings us to the arteries.
Arteries are the high-speed motorways. Their job is to carry oxygenated blood away from the heart.
And they're getting that blood straight from the pump, so the pressure's huge.
Immense. It's a massive pulse of force. So to cope, their architecture is defined by thick muscular walls and a relatively narrow lumen or channel.
And no valves needed.
No, the forward pressure is just too powerful. There's no chance of backflow.
Okay, so the blood rushes through the arteries, gets to the muscles. Then what?
Then it flows into the capillaries.
Exchange depots.
Precisely. This is the whole point of the system. Their function is gaseous exchange, dropping off oxygen, picking up CO2.
And for that to happen quickly, they have to be tiny.
Unbelievably thin. They're literally 1 cell thick with the narrowest lumen possible.
Yeah.
This design maximizes contact, allowing for really rapid, efficient diffusion between the blood and the tissue.
Okay, so the exchange happens. The blood is now deoxygenated. It needs to get back to the heart, but all that initial pressure is gone.
All gone. And now you have another problem. Gravity. This is where the veins come in.
The return collectors.
They carry deoxygenated blood towards the heart. And since the pressure is low, their structure is the complete opposite of an artery. They have thinner, less muscular walls and a much wider lumen.
A wider channel makes it easier for low-pressure fluid to flow.
Correct. But that doesn't solve the gravity problem. And this leads us to the critical distinction, the one you absolutely have to remember.
How do you get blood to flow uphill from your feet?
You solve it with clever architecture. Veins have valves.
Little one-way doors.
Perfect analogy.
Right.
They're tiny flaps that let blood flow towards the heart, but the second it tries to fall back down, they slam shut.
And that works in combination with your muscles, right?
Yes, the skeletal muscle pump. When you walk or run, your leg muscles squeeze the veins, pushing the blood up past the valve. The valve closes, and the blood is trapped, ready for the next squeeze. It's an ingenious system.
So the infrastructure is brilliant. We have the team, we have the roads. Let's look at the engine powering it all, the heart.
Or, as you should think of it, the double pump.
2 pumps working side by side.
Completely separate. The right side handles the circuit to the lungs, the pulmonary circuit. The left side handles the circuit for the rest of the body, the systemic circuit.
Let's talk about the rooms in this engine house. The 4 chambers.
Okay, so the 2 upper chambers are called the atria. They're the receiving rooms. The right atrium gets the deoxygenated blood from the body. The left atrium gets the fresh oxygenated blood from the lungs.
And below them?
Below them are the powerhouses, the muscular ventricles. They are the chambers that actively pump the blood out.
In between all these chambers, we have more valves.
Yes, and they are crucial. They ensure that blood flow is strictly one way. When the powerful ventricles contract, the valves snap shut to stop blood from being forced back into the atria. It maintains pressure and efficiency.
Okay, let's walk through the full journey, the entire cycle. Start with the deoxygenated blood coming back from the body.
Step 1. That deoxygenated blood returns through the main vein, the vena cava, and it enters the right atrium.
The top right chamber.
Yep. Step 2, it then drops down through a valve into the muscular right ventricle.
And from there?
Step 3, the right ventricle contracts, and it pushes that deoxygenated blood out through the pulmonary artery, sending it straight to the lungs.
This is the first half of the double pump's job. Get the blood to the lungs.
Exactly. Step 4, in the lungs, that capillary exchange happens. Blood drops off CO2, picks up O2. It's re-energized.
And now it's ready for the main delivery run.
Step 5. The newly oxygenated blood comes back from the lungs through the pulmonary vein, and it enters the heart's second pump, starting with the left atrium.
The top left chamber.
Right. Step 6. From there, it drops down into the left ventricle. And you need to picture this chamber as the system's true powerhouse. It has the thickest, strongest walls of all.
Because it has the biggest job, pumping blood to the entire body.
The entire body. Step 7. The left ventricle gives this massive contraction, forcing that oxygenated blood out through the body's largest artery, the aorta, and from there, it goes everywhere.
And that detailed pathway brings us to that crucial exception rule, the one that can sometimes be confusing.
It's a really important point of clarity. We often say arteries carry oxygenated blood and veins carry deoxygenated.
But that's not the real definition, is it?
No. The real definition is about direction of flow. The pulmonary artery is the only artery that carries deoxygenated blood.
Why?
Because it's carrying blood away from the heart. It just happens to be going to the lungs to get oxygen. And conversely, the pulmonary vein is the only vein carrying oxygenated blood because it's bringing it back towards the heart.
Direction trumps oxygen status.
Always.
Perfect. Okay, that flow is clear. Let's shift gears. Understanding the process is one thing, but for fitness, we need to measure the output of this engine.
We do. And we use the single most important metric for cardiovascular performance. It's called cardiac output. You'll always see it written as the letter Q.
And Q tells us what exactly?
It quantifies the total volume of blood that the left ventricle pumps out every single minute.
And to figure that out, there's a simple equation, but the 2 parts of it tell the whole story of fitness.
That's right. Cardiac output, or Q, is calculated by multiplying 2 things. First, your heart rate, HR.
Simple enough. Beats per minute.
Beats per minute. The second is stroke volume, SV, and that is the volume of blood pumped out of the left ventricle in a single beat, a single stroke.
So the performance equation is cardiac output, Q, equals stroke volume, SV, times heart rate, HR.
Exactly. And that formula leads us directly to understanding the effects of training.
The physiological adaptation.
Precisely. Long-term aerobic exercise triggers a change called cardiac hypertrophy. Sounds complicated, but it just means the heart muscle, specifically that powerful left ventricle, gets bigger and stronger.
So if the pump gets stronger, what does that do to our equation?
It has a dramatic effect on stroke volume. A bigger, stronger heart can physically eject far more blood with every single contraction. That is the goal of endurance training.
Which means to get the same job done, to achieve the same cardiac output when you're just sitting at rest.
The heart doesn't have to beat as often.
Right.
That is the ultimate sign of efficiency. If your stroke volume is higher, you need fewer beats per minute to circulate the blood your body needs. This is why elite athletes have that famously low resting heart rate. Their engine is just so powerful it can idle at a much lower speed.
So to pull it all together, we've gone from the microscopic team in the blood through the specialized architecture of the vessels, the 2-part flow of the heart, and landed here at the measurable gains of fitness.
It's a perfect synthesis of structure and power. The specialization is the genius. Arteries built for pressure, capillaries for exchange, veins with valves to beat gravity.
Yeah.
And it all culminates in that left ventricle, which dictates your entire athletic potential.
An incredible machine. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the circulatory system. We really hope this helps you visualize not just the parts, but the process, the flow of the whole system, and to leave you with something to think about building on that idea of efficiency. If the goal of training is cardiac hypertrophy to increase stroke volume, what are the ultimate physiological limits on how much blood a human heart can eject per beat? And how does that limit define the true gap between an athlete's resting capacity and their maximum output during, say, a marathon? Think about the ceiling of that pump. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.